I'm Lynn.
And I'm Mark.
And we're glad you joined us today.
Welcome to the Digital Marketing Hotseat podcast,
where small business owners ask us their number one pain point digital marketing question.
And put us in the hot seat.
Hi, I'm Lynn Smargis, and I'm a content writer specializing in ghostwriting, podcast production, and SEO website content.
And I'm Mark Thackeray, and I specialize in social media marketing, specifically Facebook and Instagram ads, email marketing, and email automation.
I'm ready, Mark. Are you ready?
I sure am. Let's do this.
All right. Hey, small business owners. We're so glad you joined us again for another episode of the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast, where you get to listen to small business owners putting Mark and me in the hot seat to answer their digital marketing questions. So, Mark, how is your digital marketing this week? What client work has your attention?
Digital marketing is on fire this week and the last couple of weeks, actually. It's been really, really busy in a good way. You know, not just busy to be busy, but very, very good projects that we're working on. One in particular is for a pretty well-known group here locally in Utah that is in the real estate industry. And so we're looking at some of their current campaigns they have running. We're just starting out with them. And so it's honestly, it's a deep dive and kind of a marketing audit, if you will, of what they're currently doing. We're establishing some baselines so that we can then measure against that moving forward and how we can optimize, their services, optimize their campaigns for their services. So it's been a lot of fun. But Lynn, how has your week been going, and what specific work has caught your attention this week?
Well, this week, like every fall, at the end of when the start of every fall, I get lots and lots of people who are interested in starting a podcast in January. And so they've been recording. And I just recently obtained a client who has 15 episodes in the hopper, so to speak, which in podcast lingo, that means you have 15 episodes recorded and stored. You just have not published them yet. So they're planning on coming out with starting publishing next month, and they need somebody to write all 15 episodes of show notes. And if you're not familiar with show notes are like right underneath the podcast, the summary. And so that's one of the things that I offer my clients. And so I'll be writing her podcast show notes for her whole entire podcast, which is super exciting.
Yeah, that's way cool.
It's a lot of fun. I like doing it a lot. All right. So before we get into today's episode, Mark, would you like to tell our listeners about our Digital Marketing 101 series, which today is our last one for now, but we're going to be coming up with another one soon?
Yeah, today is the last episode for now of these Digital Marketing 101 episodes. And what these are essentially just an overview of what digital marketing is and the various components of digital marketing, so that you can, after listening to this, you'll be able to look at it and say, okay, this particular approach is likely going to be the one that's going to be better for me and my audience. And so we've gone through a lot of different topics. If you haven't listened to the first 7 episodes of the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast, please go back and listen to those, because they provide a great foundation. We talk about digital marketing as a whole. We talk about SEO. We talk about email marketing and social media. So there's a lot of great content on there. So go back and listen to those if you have not yet. Next week, we are starting something new. We have our first guest interview, and that is with Heather Zeitzwolf from Zeitzwolf Accounting. It's fun to say. If you haven't say Zeitzwolf Accounting. That's
her name is super awesome.
I know. But Heather's going to be putting us in the hot seat with her burning digital marketing question. So we are eagerly anticipating that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But for today, Lynn, what are we talking about today?
So today we are going to talk about how to create a lead magnet, because not a lot of small business owners are familiar with that term, but they actually know what it is because they probably signed up on someone's email list. Why having a lead magnet is important, and how you can create your own lead magnet.
Nice. That's awesome. So these can be very, very powerful. Some people refer to these as white papers or a PDF resource. Lead magnet is kind of the term that we often use because of the functionality of it, because of what it's designed to do, and that is to attract a potential customer, right? And so this is what's neat about a lead magnet. If you think about it in the sense of instead of trying to go and you're going and calling on people, you're the one like soliciting them, you're giving them something that they can then identify or self-identify as interested in. So if you're providing a resource, then you're, instead of just going out to everyone broadcasting your services, you are then only attracting the people that are sincerely interested in this particular resource. And so it could be, and a lead magnet could be a PDF guide, it could be a video series, it could be a lot of different things. But Lynn, let's talk a little bit about why do we want to use a lead magnet? Like in what circumstances might a lead magnet make sense for a business?
Yeah. So like you said, a lead magnet is something you're going to offer somebody most of the time in exchange for their email. It doesn't have to be in exchange for their email, but that's the main use for it. And so a lead magnet is something you're offering for free. So in addition to what Mark said, you can also offer, I've seen people offer online courses for free, like paper books for free. You can actually offer anything as your lead magnet. But a lead magnet is really important because you can use it because not many people are going to opt in by just saying so if you go to a website and there's a little pop-up and it's like, hey, we'll give you these 10 tips for better marketing if you put your email and name in here. That is what a lead magnet is. So many of you have probably seen and participated in one at some point, but a lead magnet is basically you giving somebody a piece of information or a free something in exchange for usually their contact information. So it's really important because lead magnets, you can gather email addresses, which helps you to increase the number of people you can contact for your email marketing. You can also educate clients on your potential clients on your services, which is really great because, like, for instance, a lot of people know I write website content, but not everybody knows I do ghostwriting. So that would be something I could put in a lead magnet if I choose to make another one for Write For You. So it's really great to educate. So that's the main purpose of a lead magnet, because your clients, you never know what your clients know or don't know about you. So it's always good to educate them on what you do, the style of what you do, what you offer, what types of products and services. And also, it's really important to educate them on the pain points you can solve for them, because with a lead magnet, you can explain different pain points and how you solve it for them. And then also put a call to action at the bottom of your lead magnet to generate that business. So you do want it to be educational, but you do want to have a call to action at the bottom. So maybe it's book a time with my calendar. Maybe it's sign up for my free course here. Maybe it's check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. So whatever it is, you can really fine tune your lead magnet to really develop a customer base and have them go take their next step on where you want that to lead them.
Do you need more people visiting your website? Are you looking for higher ranking on Google searches? Or are you frustrated by the ever-changing rules of social media?
Mark and I are here to take away the headaches and stress of digital marketing with services such as website content, social media ads, and website SEO. We can provide the digital marketing magic you need to increase the number of people seeing your website and clicking on your business links.
Visit our website at www.digitalmarketinghotseat.com and hit us up on our contact page to reserve your complimentary consult. Find out how our marketing team can take the worry and hassle of digital marketing off of your plate and onto ours.
So Mark, what are some other reasons we could use a lead magnet?
Yeah, and I as you were talking about that, Lynn, I thought of what's so neat about a lead magnet is that now you're attracting people that some of whom are certainly going to buy, right? I mean, you're attracting the buyers, but you're also attracting those people that are just in the information gathering mode. As we make decisions, especially purchasing decisions, a lot of us like to gather information so that we feel like we're going to make the best decision possible. If you've never been a boater and you're going to buy a new Malibu or Mastercraft boat, you're probably not just going to go show up and pick arbitrarily the first boat that you see. You're going to do your research and see, okay, which one, how big is it? How big do I need? What type of power do I need? What do I want to be doing behind the boat? Do I just want to go sit on the boat? So you're going to do your research and identify, okay, which one makes the most sense for me? There's a lot of your customers and clients are very similar. They're going to be doing some of their research. And this is a great way to attract those people without the pressure of them talking to a salesman. I mean, we don't like to be sold to, even though we love to buy things. And this is a great way to, yeah, isn't that true?
That needs to be our tagline, I think.
Yeah. Right. But this is a great way to attract those people and start to build that relationship that Lynn was talking about, to educate them and instruct them on how to make a good decision without any risk involved, really. I mean, there is some risk because you're asking for their email address, but it's a great way to start that conversation. But before we get into it a little bit further, we want to invite you guys to subscribe to the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast on your favorite podcast player. If you haven't yet, please go do that. In addition to that, come watch our video podcast on both of our YouTube channels. You can find Lynn at Right For You Content Creation on YouTube. You can find me also on Facebook at Mark Thackeray Group. But those links will be in the show notes underneath the album cover.
Awesome. So the next thing we definitely want to talk about is how to create a lead magnet, because there is several steps in creating a lead magnet. And while it's not hard, you do want to spend some time on it to make sure you're getting your point across. So the first thing that you want to do is decide what type of email lead magnet that you want to do. Like, do you want to do a free online course? Do you want to do an ebook that's like 5, 10, 15 pages? Do you want to maybe offer a PDF newsletter kind of format where it's like 3 or 4 pages of information? Do you want to offer them a video series? So maybe your lead magnet is they're going to a website, your website maybe, and they're getting a free video series. So you have to decide what content you want to do. And you want to spend some time on it, but you don't want to be like obsessing over it and spending weeks and weeks on it. You want to pick out like the biggest pain point your clients have and make a lead magnet based around that. So no matter what format it is, you want to base it around the biggest pain point that your clients have. So, and then you want to create the content. So what verbiage are you going to put in there? What images do you want to use? Like if you're doing video, like how do you want to work your video? That's your next step. And then you also want to, where are you going to design it? So if you're just doing a newsletter or you're doing a lead magnet, you can design that on there's a popular program that if you're not a graphic designer, it's really easy to use. It's called Canva. It's one I use a lot. Or you can hire somebody to design your lead magnet. So I do newsletter and ebook lead magnets for people. I don't do video, but I know other people do. So if you're looking for that, I can definitely help you with that. So Mark, what is your any advice you'd like to give our listeners on how to create a lead magnet?
Yeah, if you're not sure where to start, a great place to look at is the frequently asked questions that you receive. So if you're constantly having to answer those same 6 questions by potential clients, that can be a great lead magnet. You can turn that into a resource that answers those questions so that they can feel like they're being heard and they can start that conversation without you really taking all the time to answer those same questions, because I know that can get tedious, right? So one thing I will mention is that we have a tendency to, some people get really excited about these and they overwhelm the reader with so much value that the reader doesn't do anything. Like it's so much information, and it is good information taken by itself. It's tremendous information, helpful information. But when it's all put together, when it's all collected in one piece, it's too much. Like it's too much food, right? So I would recommend simplifying that to one specific pain point, like Lynn mentioned. So if you're starting with the frequently asked questions and they're different enough in nature, then parse those out. And so it's not all of your questions altogether, but just take one question and go with that. Another thing could be looking at what's the easiest way for them to get started? So we have coming up on our podcast, we're going to be featuring a nutritionist, right? And so she's something that she could do. We haven't talked to her about this. This just came to mind, but it could be like a collection of maybe 3 or 5 of her most popular recipes, things that are easy to make. You can make it under 15 minutes, but it's something that she's already done. She's probably already passed it out dozens of times, to clients or hundreds of times, maybe over the years. But now you just you package that into a guide, or you package that into a PDF that is attached to to a form that someone fills out on your website. Now you get an email address in exchange for that. They receive that. They feel good about that, about you providing them with those recipes or that resource. And now they look at you differently, right? They don't look at you as just someone who's just out there to get your money. I mean, they look at you as someone who has their best interest at heart, that is sincerely looking out for them and their best interest. So that's another great place to start. Is what would make it easier for them to get started. Another last one that you could do is, what don't they know that they need to know? How do I say that? They don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Where you've been doing this for a long time. You've been in this for years and years and years. And so to you, it's painfully obvious, but to them, this is all new territory. It's all Greek to them. So what are the things that they need to know that they don't actually know? So you could also turn that into a resource. And it doesn't have to be a PDF. We keep saying PDF, but that's one of the most common. It could be a video. If you're more comfortable on video, record a video and then send them a link to the video. I mean, you don't have to make this huge or a massive project by any means, but just the idea is to provide them with value in exchange for their email address so that you can begin that relationship. So with that, Lynn, walk us through you've maybe thought of an idea for a lead magnet. Now what is the best way to use that lead magnet to really make full use of it?
Yeah, so there's some really creative ways you can actually use your lead magnet. So the most common one we see is you visit someone's website and the little box pops up and says, hey, you can get your 10 tips to better gardening, put your email in here, and you put your email in and then they email you their 10 tips to better gardening. Another thing you can do is, if you're planning on doing a webinar, to talk about your lead magnet in your webinar, or to use your lead magnet to get people to sign up for your webinar. You can also, one of the things I've done that has really been really successful with my Travel Gluten-Free podcast is I put my lead magnet on my social media. So I'll put the link to my actual lead magnet and say, like, hey, sign up here for tips to travel gluten-free. And then people can go and they sign up and then they get the lead magnet. So that's a great way to do it. Like right on social media, you can just have people click on the link. You can also, like Mark said, embed your YouTube videos to explain your products or services. You can also use your email to, once people jump in your lead magnet, you can use your email list to show clients how to use a product or service you provide. And that's also another great way to maybe like start off on your lead magnet, like to say like, hey, here's the information. If you'd like more information on how you can use these processes or this product, like sign up here, or like, find, like, here's my YouTube video channel, whatever it is. So those are some creative ways that you can use your lead magnet outside of just sending people to your website. But if you want to start off simple, you can always just send people to your website and have them sign up right there.
Yeah. And this is so neat because now if you compare yourself to other people and what they're your competition, okay, what are they doing to attract new clients? A lot of them are just going out and soliciting business, right? I mean, they're asking for people to buy, pull out their credit card and spend money with me. But now contrast that with this approach, where instead of doing that, you're like, well, no, why don't you just check this out? Here's before you make any buying decisions, please read this. You see that a lot. You see that a lot on marketing and advertising, but it is effective, right? I mean, it helps people understand that, hey, you are truly different. And it's such a good way to set yourself apart, is to offer this. And you see that, just like Lynn said, social media, website, YouTube. I've seen these on the back of business cards, like a QR code that links them to that. I mean, it's just a great way to market differently. And when you market differently, people tend to pay more attention. So yeah, that's all I got for those.
Yeah. Plus you stand out more too when you market differently, which is really, really important. So Mark, what can our listeners expect on our next episode, which is episode 9 for the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast?
Yes. So we have, as we mentioned earlier, we're going to have our first guest put us in the digital marketing hot seat with her burning question. And her name is Heather Zeitzwolf, who is a CPA. And she's going to be talking, her question is all around Instagram, is understanding the Instagram algorithm, how she can generate more interaction, Instagram lives, things like that. So we're going to be diving into that on our next episode. So definitely tune into that.
And remember to reach out to us if you have any questions about digital marketing by visiting our website, www.digitalmarketinghotseat.com.
We're so glad you joined us on today's episode.
Tune in each week for a new digital marketing hot seat question from a small business owner just like you.
And if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, go to digitalmarketinghotseat.com and fill out our interview form.
And remember, make sure to like and subscribe to the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast on your favorite podcast player.